Well, hello again everybody. We're pitched up here at Dirnanean Estate, Caravan and Motorhome Club certificated location. It's about 10 miles outside of Pitlochry and it's our last stop north of the border on this trip. It's a basic CL. It's just in this little wooded clearing off the road and it's £10 a night. So it's a lovely place at a very reasonable price. You can see there's a few other folk here, but there's plenty of room to spread out and not be on each other's toes. There's a little notice board over there, not much information on it, but just the basics on the site and how to pay and such. This little corner here has got the waste and the recycling, and there's a chemical waste disposal point here. It's a little bit agricultural, but you'll get over it, it's fine. And here's your drinking water tap. The only slight downside, like a few of these places, there's not much of a pull-in off the main road. Now, it's not a super busy main road, but there is traffic, and you will have to stop your outfit on the road to open the gate. It could be a little bit trickier if you're on your own. Now, we are a bit low on groceries today. We were hoping to pick some up on the road yesterday when we came here from Skye, but it was Sunday and we didn't really pass anywhere really, let alone anywhere that was open that had any sort of shop. So we're going to get the bikes off the back and we're going to ride to Kirkmichael, where I believe there's a nice village shop. That was a nice tea and cake in the village shop. What a lovely little place Kirkmichael is. Now the poor old church looks a little bit disused. Oh well, back to the bikes and back to the campsite. Well, we got back to the van, but we couldn't get in through the habitation door. I had to get in through the cab door. Fortunately, I had the cab keys. The lock is just completely jammed. The latch seems all right, but I think the pin's stuck in the lock. I've tried freeing it up with some chain lubricant. I haven't got any WD-40 or anything with me, I don't think. Well, I could not get that locked free off at all. I've had to leave the door open Nicky's staying here, but the door can't be closed because the lock's jammed in the locked position. When we want to close the door, I'm going to have to take the lock off again, or the latch off again, release it so that we can close and latch the door, and then it'll be locked, so we won't be able to get out, apart from through the cab, of course. So that's far from ideal. But yeah, I'm gonna go off now. Nicky wants to stay here and chill out with the van. I'm gonna go off now and look for a place called Whitefield Castle, which sounds like it might be quite interesting. And on the way, I'll pass that shop again, so I'll check and see if they've got any WD-40 or anything like that. Well, I'm just a little way up the road and I've found this curious little stone shelter thing. I wonder if it's a lime kiln or perhaps another sort of old storage facility. It's not marked on the map as any sort of antiquity, but yeah, it's got no chamber upwards for being a lime kiln, so I'm edging towards some sort of storage. Yeah, it doesn't go back very far, but it's a lovely, well-made thing. Well, just a little way up the road, look what I found. It's an ROC bunker. I wonder if it's open. Yeah, it is unlocked, but sadly rather full of water. I've only just dried my boots off, so I don't fancy going and getting them wet again. I've been in quite a few of those. I know exactly what to expect down there. These ROC bunkers were put in during the Cold War, and folk would, appointed folk, the Royal Observer Corps, would be inside them in the event of a nuclear attack, and they'd monitor the conditions on the surface and report back. Somewhere there should be like an aerial up a tree or something. But yeah, all that stuff long ago decommissioned. Right, let's press on, see if we can find the castle. Well, I have made it to Whitefield Castle. It's a beautiful spot, but not that easy to cycle to, I would say. Google told me I could cycle here, but several of the farm gates were locked. I had to lift the bike over. I would have left the bike down the bottom, but I'd forgotten to bring me lock. So yeah, a little bit challenging, not terribly bad. I'd recommend walking up. There's no public footpath or public bridleway, but there's signs on the field gates asking to keep your dogs on leads and stuff. So I believe it is permissible to come up here and look at the castle remains. And in fact, I told the lady in the local shop that I was coming up here, and she didn't express any disapproval. So there you go. So this castle was built in the 12th century by King Malcolm III, initially as a hunting lodge. It was expanded in 1577 by the Spalding family, and unfortunately, as you can see, it's now in ruins. Let's have a little look inside. Well, there's quite a lot to explore in here, isn't there? absolutely glorious place. I didn't actually expect there to be this much left to see. What an amazing place. Well, I imagine the stories these walls could tell if they could talk. A lot gone on in here over the centuries, I imagine. Very glad I made the effort to get up here. It's a wonderful place, really. Old defensive ports there. Quite a few of those scattered around, although this one's lost a section of wall above. This may have been a big fireplace, not entirely sure. Little cubby hole there. And it actually looks like some sort of sink. Look, it's dished out and it's got a drain that goes that way. So it's possible this could have been some sort of kitchen area, isn't it? I mean, that's quite a feature, isn't it? Little squint here so you can reach your hand through and poke people coming through the door. I've no idea what it's really for. Maybe it is for that. There's the main doorway. There's another deep hole there. I'm guessing it's for a bar, so you can bar the door closed. Because there's the reveal, so the door would open inwards. Pretty big hefty bar there, and no one can get in. What an absolutely fantastic place. If a little tricky to get to. Right, now back to the campsite for some lunch, I think. Well, I'm back to the van now, and back to the door lock problem. I did manage to buy from the garage down the road a tin of penetrating oil and giving the lock a good soak with it. No, but so far that's still absolutely solid. I fear that may be one that has to be fixed when we get home. We've also noticed a little puddle forms by the bottom of the tap after a while. So at the moment we're keeping the pump off when we don't need it. I've checked the cupboard underneath and it doesn't seem to be damp underneath, which is good. So I think it's the body of the tap that's leaking somehow. So yeah, that's probably another one to fix when we get home. Although I only have 2 days when we get home before we head off again to Devon, and I'm working those 2 days, so that could be tricky. Well, Nikki's happily doing some of her artwork in the awning, and I fancy a little bit of a snooze in the hammock and maybe read me book. So I'm going to set it up here between these two trees, I think. Well, this is absolutely the life, folks. I'm going to chill out here for a bit, I think. Take it easy. Well, there you go. Our 2 nights here just about wraps up the Scottish part of our trip. We're off again tomorrow morning, leaving this site, and we've got one more stopover before we end up back at home. So that's about it for us on this video, and hopefully we'll see you again very soon in the next one.